Alright guys, so I'm going to start a new series on applying to physician assistant school. Let me introduce myself. My name is Oscar. I have been a physician assistant for almost 12 years now. And I applied to physician assistant school about 14 years ago. That was a long time ago. Back then, it was tough, and I'm sure it has become even tougher throughout the years. So I have my good friend here, Mr. Neil, and we have known each other now for like 7 years now or so, and he is applying to PA school. Once again, I applied about 14 years ago. It was tough back then, and I want to start a series for the young generation that are trying to apply for PA school and see how it is. How is the process? Back then, it was very enjoyable and tough, but I got in, I got my degree, and I love what I do. So let's go ahead and start with Mr. Neil and introduce yourself and what are you doing right now?
Well, hello, my name is Neil. I'm 43 years old and I currently work as a medical assistant for a local hospital group, not to name any names. I do possess a bachelor's degree as a physician assistant from a European country. Sadly, it is not acknowledged in North Carolina, so I have to start all over, and since everything is masters across the board, I have to get a master's degree.
Correct. So now, for how long did you practice as a physician assistant back in Europe?
Not at all, because I have moved over here at the end of my university time. I was applying actively for jobs while I was here, and at the same time finishing up my thesis paper. So once I had a job, it was about the same time frame my thesis paper was due. Went back to Europe, handed in my thesis paper, defended it in front of a kind of like a gremium, a board, and packed up my household and moved over here.
All right. So yeah, I mean, but you were able to finish your degree, which is good. You got the tough part out. Now, since arriving to the United States, what have you been doing? What have you been working on when it comes to medicine?
I've been working in urgent care as a medical assistant and as a CNA for assisted living facilities, and literally going from university to university, trying to get my degree acknowledged, because that is what I've been told by NCCPA, that it is possible that some schools do that, but experience has shown no school is acknowledging foreign coursework or was doing advanced placement. It's all starting from scratch. You can't work with that degree because you are not board certified, so no one is going to hire you. No matter what state you go to through the medical boards, you have to be certified. There is no way around it.
Right.
The only way is through the schools, and I have been told by people who are still at the Board of Representatives of physician assistants that what I was trying to do is unheard of, is new. It's kind of like the professional version of riding with your plane wagon through the prairie, trailblazing. There is no pathway, no set pathway yet. So what is left is going back to school and getting a master's degree.
All right. So I guess some people may get like a medical degree overseas, and they may do some revalidation here in the United States and do the residence program, and then they become medical doctors. But like you and I became a physician assistant. You're trying to become a physician assistant here in the United States. Now, can you tell me about the process? What have you done so far to apply for the schooling, and what have you done when it comes to the prereqs? Are any prereqs needed that you have missed?
It all starts with you doing your research. First of all, with the profession in general. Do you want to become a PA? What does it take to become? What is the job entice? What you have to do? Then go along and research the schools that you want to go to. My research has shown that when it comes to the prerequisites, they're 90% the same across the board from all the schools. So you have to get your prereqs out of the way. The website, the CASPA website helps a lot with that. Keeps you on track. What do you have to do, what you have done, what is still left on your list. You can put in all the prereqs, you can put in your essay, and a very good website for a wealth of information is thepalife.com. Thepalife.com. It helps with the prerequisitions, with the essay, with the letters of recommendation, the whole process. So anything regarding the application process, schooling to becoming and being a PA, I think this is a very good resource. It had helped me along, especially with that essay, because getting the letter of recommendation was pretty straightforward. You need 3 to 5. They need to come from PAs or MDs. That was a no-brainer. The prereqs is pretty straightforward. You need these classes, these amount of hours. It is stated pretty clearly how many contact hours of patient contact you need in actually working or volunteering in a medical capacity, what is accepted, what is not accepted, and all the other documentation you need, and it's all in one big package. And the biggest help I needed was with the essay. Being naive, I thought, Sunday afternoon, I can write it, 2 hours, little essay. Yeah, no.
It's more to it. So pretty much, when I applied, I went through CASPA, and I I put all my information. I put the essay. I put the schools that I went to, and it was like a checklist. So it's pretty much the same.
Yep.
All right. So you have your degree in Europe, and you've been working kind of like a CNA here in the United States. Now, tell me, what is the reason what is the reason, or what is your purpose on becoming a physician assistant?
Well, mainly to work in my degree, with my degree.
Good.
Because right now I am an overqualified, underpaid, or overqualified medical assistant or underpaid PA. The PAs I work with love it because I have the same mindset and the same knowledge, so they get the overqualified helper.
Good, that's true.
But of course I don't want to do that forever, because medical assistant pay is a fraction of what you make as a PA, and as everyone else I have a family to feed.
That's true.
So, and I have not gone to university and gotten a degree just to be the assistant for the rest of my life.
Correct.
And for the ones who don't know me, I have a long military career before me. So there's a wealth of skills and knowledge and experiences I can bring to the table and make a difference. And right now, I can't.
Okay. Yeah.
So it's moving forward.
Yeah,
Keep on moving.
That's true. So he mentioned a few things that I really like. What I like is that him and I are at the same age. I believe it's never too late to start. Never. It's never too late to start. When I went to PA school, there were 58-year-old starting in the PA program. And my best friend started medical school when he was 56 years old. Yep. He graduated by the age of 61, and he's working as a hospitalist in Ocala, Florida. And the thing is that he had to drive. You have to drive, and I think age is a number.
Yep.
For me, age is just a number. I feel way stronger now than when I was in my 20s. Maybe it's because we have that mental experience.
The mindset, yeah.
Sometimes we feel it in our bodies, but we still have the mind, and the mind is the most powerful weapon that we own,
Yep.
or that we possess. So, and you and I have worked once or twice, and you're amazing help, and you have that knowledge that not the average CMA or nurse or RMA have. You have that, above thing. And the beautiful thing about being a PA is that it's very flexible. You can switch to, for example, you want to do family medicine, and then you can do gastroenterology or neurology, urology, and so on, and you can switch to whatever you like. And that's the beauty of it. Now, working as a CMA, what are the fields that you like? What specialties you think you may go for?
Well, since I've been here, I've done urgent care, I've done geriatrics, and now gastroenterology for adults. And I would have never thought beforehand that gastroenterology would be something interesting. For me, the field of internal medicine was always a book with 7 seals, playing Dr. House, not as obvious as either geriatrics or as orthopedics. Broken bone is broken bone. But it is actually quite interesting. So where I will end up with, once I've been through all my rotations and getting a taste of other fields I have not been in with the past in my career, I will find a home. But so far, gastroenterology actually sounds interesting.
Yeah, it is very interesting. It's very. I've been doing GI for the past 6 years or so, and I love it. I just love it. Now, how or the application of being a PA, how long do you think the entire process takes to get, once you're done with all your prereqs? So let's say you're done with your prereqs, which let's say you went to school for 4 years undergrad, and you got all your prereqs done. From graduating and the application process, how long does it usually take?
That is actually not an easy question to answer, because it depends really on, are you a smart kid and look at the application process and kind of like reverse engineer everything so that you can get your prereqs and your patient hours and everything done beforehand, so that your entire set of prerequisites is fulfilled by the time you apply? Or are you doing everything like back to back? So, first get, for example, a medical assistant license, work as a medical assistant, get your hours, which is like 1,500 hours, which is quite a bit.
Yeah.
And then you go to school, and once you go to school, you start the application process, but you have to wait till the universities open up the application cycles. So that adds, so then you're looking at a few years.
Yeah.
So are you doing everything simultaneously?
Okay.
Or back to back? So that is an individual question, but can easily be a couple of years, because my bachelor's degree took 3 years. The additional courses I had to take here, probably a year to a year and a half, and that was while working full time, so going to community college in the evening or online classes. I already had the patient contact hours, which I accumulated while I was working here, but because it had to be hours I had done here. And even now that I have everything pretty much set up, now I have to wait till the application cycles open up.
Okay. All right.
So some have rolling cycles, others have set cycles, but you're looking at probably a good 2 to 3 years.
Okay, so the process, yeah. I remember I started on my senior year of undergrad, so from graduating from my senior year, so that let's say that's 1 full year, and then in applying and getting into PA school was another 9 months. So it's pretty close to 2 years to be in the fair spectrum. And now it makes it a little bit harder nowadays because in your case you have a family, so you have to make many decisions. Where if you get accepted here or there, that may play a factor, correct?
Yes, and then of course tuition. Are you in state or out of state?
Correct.
Where do you apply? Like you just said, if you have a family with responsibilities, you're not as flexible whether you want to go to in university in your state or out of state, because with a family and the household, cost is a deciding factor, and the tuition difference between in-state and out-of-state is quite significant.
Okay, yeah, that makes financially that's a very important part. Now, lastly, how or in what stage do you think you're into the process? Are you like in the middle, or are you almost done with?
I'm in the application phase right now. I'm putting in my applications.
Okay, so you're pretty at the end then.
Yeah, I have finally done everything. All my prereqs, everything has a check mark, and now it's literally just waiting for the schools to open up their application cycles, so I can put in my application. One big tip for everyone: apply as early as possible. Some schools have rolling applications where they interview applicants during the cycle. So if you apply at the end of the cycle, it's tougher to get in because out of the 30 or 60 spots they have, there's only a handful left.
Correct.
And you're competing with everyone else. While at the beginning, it's probably easier to get in because the entire class is still open. And then there's other schools whose application cycle is comparatively short, just a couple of weeks, because they're just collecting all the applications, sorting them out, inviting people for interviews, and then deciding. So that is really school dependent, but put your stuff in beforehand, get it ready. Don't wait till, oh yeah, it's in March, I got time. No, get it ready, so once the cycle open up, you can just shoot it out.
So if I remember correctly, when I applied to the school that I got accepted to, it was about 1,000 applications for 55 spots. So that was very, very tough. Now, once again, you're 43. Both of us are the same age. Is it too late to apply for this type of career?
Never. Don't stop learning. Yeah. That's my thought. I mean, when you leave high school, you think you're done with school, and many people think, yeah, done with school, never you're learning. No, this is when it starts. Any schooling you do in life is just the basis, the foundation. Right. Then you start walking and learning in any profession. It's never too late. As we all know, learning new skills and knowledge is always good to prevent Alzheimer's.
Yeah, no, that's true. Yeah.
So, but it's never too late to learn a new profession, to get into a new career, or to add to the knowledge you have. And I know a few very successful people who they put it in their own words, kill their career every 5 years to do something new. So if this is where you put your mind at and your goal and you want to do it, go for it, even if you're 50s and 60s.
Yeah. Yes, it's never, I believe it's never too late. Never stop learning. Nowadays, 60-year-old is what used to be a 45-year-old back in the days. So I think it's never too late. If you have the opportunity of starting early in life, do it. If you have the chance, go ahead and go for it. But if you are later in life, let's say you had a family, you had to work to raise the family. Now your kids may be out of the house, which I believe is in your case. Your kid is out of the house. Now you're like, what should I do? I already raised the kid. I need to do something with my life. You sacrifice a lot of time to raise your kid and be with family, but you're young still. So, and you have at least another
20 years.
40, no, 45 years to keep at it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
there's at least another 20 years left in the work life, and
Yeah.
statistically, like what, 40 years in lifespan?
Yeah, there you
So
go.
minimum.
Yeah.
And there is no reason to stop. My belief is that older members of the workforce, I don't want to call them employees, older members of the workforce actually have a lot to contribute in the form of skills and knowledge.
Okay.
So they bring a lot to the table.
That's good.
Life experience.
Yeah. I believe when I went to PA school, this lady in the program, she was at that time, she was about 40, 45 years old. She was a stay-home mom her entire life. Kids out. She decided to go to PA school.
Cool.
But hold on. She decided to get her degree first. Then she applied to PA school, and she was 45 when she started. So it's never too late. So what should we expect within the next, let's say, a few months, so we can go ahead and come back and give some updates? What do you think we could expect when it comes to the application process and so on?
Well, in my case,
Yeah.
Hopefully an acceptance letter from one of the universities
Good.
here in the state.
Yeah.
So as soon as they open up new cycles for the fall semester or for next year, I'll put in my applications, and then here in a few months, hopefully come back with some good news.
Excellent. Now, one thing, how many, because I believe it's like the more chances you try, I guess, the more opportunities you may have. How many schools are you going to apply to, you think?
Well, definitely to open up or raise my chances. Most of the programs in North Carolina, problem being my bachelor's degree, which is part of my prerequisites, is a foreign degree.
Okay.
I used World Education Services in New York to translate it, and it has been translated or compared to being equivalent to a US degree.
Yeah.
World Education Services is one of the few services recognized by all universities as being accreditation company, accreditation board.
Yeah.
But not every university in North Carolina is accepting foreign coursework as a prerequisite.
Oh, okay.
So I have to go with those universities that do.
Oh, okay. All right. So, like, how many schools may that be?
Off the top of my head, 6 to 8.
That's a pretty good thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. I applied because I was just crazy and I wanted to pretty much apply to all of them, but I applied to 12.
Yeah.
So it's about, that's good. That's a good number. So I'm gonna go ahead and wrap this up, and my goal is to, well, I truly, and I want for Neil to get into school. That's my goal, my ultimate goal, for him to get into school and become a physician assistant. I think you're gonna be amazing as a physician assistant. But you have the knowledge already. You just need that paper.
Yeah,
pretty much.
It's an administrative.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, you need that paper to legally practice as a physician assistant. The good thing is that you have the knowledge, and that's gonna help you out during school. And let's go ahead and come back and try to help anyone that may be applying to PA school. If they have any questions for me, since I've been at PA for the past almost 12 years now. In October, it's going to be 12 years, and maybe they have questions, what I have done, how many different type of specialties I've gone through, and we can help them out, and maybe we can help, the audience, and they can help us. They can go ahead and ask any questions in the comment section. I want to say thanks to Neil for agreeing for this interview.
You're welcome.
My goal of this interview is to do two things. Help Neil and help the audience in information, and hopefully we can make the physician assistant profession stronger.
Yep.
Because we have a true competitor, which is the nurse practitioners, and I don't want to get in there. I don't want to get into it, but my goal is to make it stronger.
Yes, sir.
All right. Thanks for watching, and please put any comments below. Any last words?
Yes, if you guys do your homework, you'll realize I cannot talk for the universities outside of the state of North Carolina, but for the ones in state, the vast majority are very veteran friendly. There are a few who specifically target the veteran community as potential students. So anyone who is currently active duty reserve or guard, or is thinking about spending some time in the military beforehand, or is in the need, just thinking, hey, I want to do a few years of military service to get some experience on board, get some medical experience, get my hands on the GI Bill, some government grants. It is definitely a good pathway to get started in the medical field, to get experience, patient contact hours, to get trained and experienced to do medicine in high-stress situations, because even in the civilian field, you will be exposed to high-stress situations. Just think about emergency room. Then with the benefits the military offers you, and as veteran-friendly as the universities are, taking kind of like a curveball pathway through the military has the potential of being beneficial in your application process.
Good. All right. Yeah, that's great information. And the PA profession was actually started here in North Carolina. So back in the 1960s, to be specific, 1968, I believe.
I actually met one.
Huh?
I met one.
You did?
He was one of the graduates of the first class of Duke's PA program back in the day. So very interesting gentleman.
Yeah, and back then they didn't have the autonomy that we have nowadays. I love the autonomy that we have nowadays, and that's why we need to promote the physician assistant profession. Well, guys, thank you so much. Thank you for watching, and I truly appreciate Neil agreeing to this interview.
Thank you for having me.
We'll go ahead and do
Thank you very much.
more interviews.